Meet Manolo El Del Bombo, the man who wasn't just a fan, but the soul of Spanish football. Known for his booming drum and larger-than-life spirit, he was called the most famous fan on the planet by The Guardian. But behind the cheers, there's a story of passion, struggle, and heartbreak that'll leave you stunned. Manolo's journey started in the small town of Huesca, where he first banged his drum for SD Huesca and local clubs. As a kid, he'd show up to matches with nothing but a beat and a dream. By the 1970s, he was a regular at Real Zaragoza games, and soon, he caught the eye of the Spanish national team's supporters. His energy was infectious, and it wasn't long before he was packing his bags for his first international trip to Cyprus in 1979. But that was just the beginning. Everything changed during the 1982 World Cup in Spain. Manolo hitchhiked to matches, his drum echoing through stadiums. Fans couldn't get enough of him. By the 1983 Copa del Rey final, he was shaking hands with King Juan Carlos, who handed him a plaque for embodying the spirit of Spanish fans. Manolo wasn't just cheering, he was creating a legacy. And what happened next would make him a global icon. Picture this: a man in a red number 12 jersey, a massive beret, and a drum plastered with Spain's flag. That was Manolo at 10 World Cups, from Mexico '86 to Russia 2018. Whether it was a friendly in Europe, or a showdown in South Africa, he was there, banging his drum. He even showed up for Spain's basketball team at Eurobasket 2007. His look was unmistakable, his passion unmatched. But life wasn't always a victory chant. In Valencia, Manolo ran to Museo Deportivo, a bar next to Mestalla Stadium. It was a football fan's paradise, packed with TVs and memorabilia. But in 2011, new regulations banned his outdoor broadcasts, and an anti-smoking law hit hard. Rumors swirled that he was shutting down, but Manolo clarified he was just protesting by ditching his tobacco machine. Still, the damage was done. By 2020, he'd closed the bar and admitted he was in a very bad financial spot. And there's more to this story that'll tug at your heart. Whispers on X suggest the RFEF didn't do enough for Manolo in his later years. In 2022, they offered him tickets and flights to Qatar, but left him hanging on accommodation, a must to enter the country. Fans speculated the federation took him for granted, a claim that stung those who saw him as Spain's biggest cheerleader. Despite his struggles, Manolo kept showing up, but the weight of it all was heavy. His final moment in the spotlight came in March 2025 at Mestalla, cheering Spain against the Netherlands. Just weeks later, on May 1, 2025, Manolo passed away, at 76 in Villarreal, after respiratory issues. Tributes flooded in, with Huesca planning a massive homage. Fans called him irreplaceable, but some wondered if his dedication came at too high a cost. Manolo's story isn't just about football. It's about a man who gave everything, his money, his health, his heart, to a sport that didn't always give back. Reports claim he faced loneliness and financial ruin, yet he never stopped drumming. His life was a testament to passion, but it's also a reminder of what devotion can demand. So, what does it really mean to live for something bigger than yourself? Manolo's drum may have gone silent, but his echo lingers. What's the true price of being a legend? Meet Ina Canabaro Lucas, a Brazilian nun whose life was a masterclass in resilience, faith, and breaking records. From teaching a future president to outliving almost everyone, her story is packed with twists that'll keep you glued. Born in 1908 in São Francisco de Assis, Brazil, Ina wasn't expected to survive childhood. So thin that folks doubted she'd see 7, she carried the blood of General David Canabaro, a hero of the Ragamuffin War. Her father fell in combat when she was 15, leaving her to forge her own path. But this frail girl had a fire inside that no one saw coming. How did she defy those early odds? Let's dig deeper. By her early 20s, Inua's life took a bold turn. She moved to Montevideo, Uruguay, and in 1928, at just 20, became a nun. Her calling wasn't just spiritual, she was a teacher, shaping young minds in Portuguese and math. She returned to Brazil, teaching in Rio's Tijuca neighborhood, then back to her roots in Santana do Livramento. Her classroom wasn't just a room, it was where futures were built. And one of those futures was wilder than anyone could have guessed. Imagine teaching a kid who'd one day run your country, and admit to smacking you as a toddler. Ina was the kindergarten teacher of João Figueiredo, Brazil's 30th president. In 1979, when he visited Rio Grande do Sul as president, they reunited. He kissed her, then dropped a bombshell. As a kid, he'd slapped her for trying to keep him in school. That cheeky moment didn't define her, but it sure raised eyebrows. What else was hiding in her story? Inua's life wasn't just about teaching, it was about outlasting. By 2022, she was Brazil's oldest person, after Antonia da Santa Cruz passed. Months later, she claimed South America's crown when Colombia's Sofia Rojas died. By December 2024, Ina, at 116, was the world's oldest living person, a title she held until her death in 2025. She was also the oldest nun, after Lucille Randon's passing in 2023. Her secret? She pointed to God, but there's more to unpack. At 114, Ina faced a beast most don't survive, COVID-19. Hospitalized in 2022, she beat it, becoming one of the oldest survivors ever. A year earlier, at 112, she got the COVID vaccine, making headlines as a symbol of hope. Mobility issues had her using a walker from 110, but nothing slowed her spirit. How did her body keep fighting when science said it shouldn't? That question kept the world watching. Online, fans buzzed about Inua's life. Some debated her birth date, May 27th or June 8th. Others whispered her faith was a literal lifeline, with ex-posts claiming her prayers shielded her. There's even chatter that her tie to Figueiredo boosted her fame, though nothing's proven. What's clear is her story sparked curiosity, blending fact and mystery in a way that kept people talking. But the final chapter was still unfolding. In June 2023, Ina hit 115, one of only 6 South Americans to reach that age. The Gerontology Research Group honored her with a plaque, cementing her as a legend. A fan of international football, she kept club trinkets close, a nod to her vibrant spirit. When she passed on April 30, 2025, at 116, the world mourned a woman who'd seen it all. Inua's life wasn't just long, it was a lesson in defying limits. So, what's the takeaway from a nun who outlived wars, presidents, and pandemics? Maybe it's that faith, grit, and a touch of mystery can carry you further than anyone expects. What do you think her secret was? Drop your thoughts below, and let's keep her story alive.